Welcome, welcome. This is our second to last episode for professional women in real estate. And we have a phenomenally amazing panel full of boss women. And today we are going to be discussing supporting the next boss lady. And I'm just going to go ahead and add our president back in. Okay, let me see. One moment. Okay, there she goes.
Hello,
Okay, Madam
everybody.
Leticia, you can take it away.
Good deal. Well, everybody, welcome to our virtual platform of professional women in real estate. We are so excited to have everybody on this panel. Today, of course, things are going to flow a little bit differently, surprisingly enough, because I am an interviewee and not the interviewer. So I'm super excited about that, getting to be on the opposite side. So I won't talk too much right now. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our host and host, both with the mostest. Of course, as you all know, I'm our Madam Tanya Hayes. Tanya is on here, Women's Council of NARAB's secretary. Hey, Madam Tanya.
Hi.
And then, of course, we have our fantabulous Miss Latanya Donaldson with Prime Lending. She is always coming in, showing out, giving us all that she has on this professional women in real estate. And Latanya, our host today. Actually, I am wrong. No.
That is right, Leticia. You almost took the word away from me because you and I are both being interviewed today.
Oh,
so
my
it's going to be
goodness.
different, right?
Right. Well, here it is. Now, the guys, listen, newly to the stage, right? But she is no stranger to the microphone, nor is she a stranger to our virtual platform. That is none other than Miss Viola Solomon, who is going to be an interviewer today. Viola Solomon is with US Bank, and I have had the honor and pleasure to work with Miss Solomon for several years. And in each position that she has held, she's like, what can we do for you and what can we do for the community? So today, community, what she's doing for you is she's bringing all the top end questions and everything that you're going to want to know about being a supporting boss in this whole boss lady industry. Not only that, she's also our sponsor, Miss Viola.
Yay. Thank you, Leticia. I appreciate it, Madam President Leticia. I thank you so much for having us, U.S. Bank, on this platform. Certainly, the last one was just, phenomenal, and I learned so much from these from the ladies that were on it, which basically it was only one other person that wasn't on it that's on here now, but it was she was so good, all of them, Latanya, Tanya, you, everybody. So I'm thanking you again for having us, and we're just excited. I'm the Texas Community Lending Manager for U.S. Bank, and we are just excited about being here, and we are looking forward to this amazing conversation.
Good deal.
Thank you so much, Viola. So I want to just go ahead and touch briefly on our amazing guests that have taken time out of their very busy schedules that we're going to be interviewing today. Of course, our fearless leader, Madam President Leticia Grant, our president-elect, who is just phenomenal as well, First Vice President Ida Campbell, and then we have Tamala Thurman with Freddie Mac that is joining us today. Thank you so much. I know that you were so busy, and I so appreciate you being on here. Tamala is the Equitable Housing Director for Freddie Mac. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. So we have our president-elect coming in, Madam Ida Campbell. So this entire episode is centered on supporting the next boss lady. So there was an article done. It was a curated column done by Amwar. And they said the most powerful thing you can do as a woman is support another woman. And the way that our society is set up is basically money equals power. So for women to have power, they must land executive positions, grow their companies, and have their voices heard. So in support of upcoming boss ladies, how do you make sure that you were heard? And I'm going to start this question with Miss Tamala.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I am honored to be in a room with such exemplary women in the industry. This is a real treat for me. So thank you so much. But to your point, if you're talking about power and money equaling power, you have to get in the C-suite and be able to talk about where the money is going. You know, the biggest thing is accountability, and in accountability, the middle of that is you have to count. So that's, it's true. So you have to make sure that you are making sure that other women have a seat at the table. You have to make sure that you're talking to the right people. You're talking about being heard. You have to make sure you're talking to the right people, the person who can make a decision if that person is not you. And then you have to bring other people along. That's what it's all about. You have to bring other people along.
I love that. So count the money, hold everyone accountable, and talk to the decision makers. I love
Absolutely.
that. So I also want to direct this same question to Madam Latanya, followed by Madam Letitia. How do you make sure that your voice is heard and that you have a seat at the table?
Well, so to Tamla's point, it's really about, first of all, well, let me say this. We all have purpose, so know your purpose, right? You need to have that talk with your own self. What am I here for? I think you need to make sure that you understand that. In other words, you understand the assignment, right? So when you understand the assignment, you automatically come in with confidence, right? Yeah. So right. So, so then it's like understanding the assignment and a part of that, when I say that, is understanding where you want to go. Okay. So I think you are heard more when you have crafted out a plan for yourself.
Come on.
Yeah, and you know what? So that is absolutely a perfect segue into what I would say. And what I would say is the first thing that I always have to determine is this my table or is this someone else's, right? Because I have no plans in sitting at someone else's table, nor do I think that anyone should have a seat in mine. In demanding that, right? So often, in the unfortunate thing is being a woman and being an African American woman, when you are demanding, you're looked at as being that type. Right. And it's fine if someone believes that to be the case. However, for me specifically, I know my role and I know what God has led me to be. And if you believe that I am being overly aggressive in getting there, that is on you. That is not on me. So I'm going to sit where I'm supposed to sit. I'm not going to hold anyone else's chair. I'm not going to steal anyone else's thunder, but I'll be doggone if anyone else is going to steal mine. So just again, that tops right on top of that confidence. And when you know you're supposed to be there and you know that that's your place, you're extremely confident in that particular situation. So that was actually just a perfect segue. And I think, Latanya, that's why we co-host,
That was perfect segue. And Madam Viola, I'm going to pass the next question off to you.
Thank you. Boy, that was good. Is this my table? All right. I like that. Know your purpose and where's the money going? I like that. Thank you all for sharing. So I would like to ask you, starting with you, Latanya first. As you advanced in your career to the senior and executive level, what didn't you receive that you would like to pass on to the next boss lady?
Again, I don't mean to sound redundant, but it all starts in knowing yourself. Early on in my career, I wasn't very confident in myself. I don't think I believed in what I was set there to do. So again, that goes back to, I often like to say, we have to know who we belong to and when you believe that, you understand that, see, that position, it wasn't given to you, right? You earn that and you're supposed to be there. So I would say, what I would pass on is, first of all, make sure that you have people around you, right, who are cheering you on. Be very confident and in yourself, right? And be ready to show up. And here's another thing. Really work on becoming a leader. right? I did not know what that meant initially. A leader is someone who inspires others. So make sure you understand leadership and what that, and you inspire people. And, again, just bring your whole self to the role.
Right.
Mhm.
Wow. That's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
I like
Absolutely.
having your cheerleaders.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Tamala?
Sure. So I think at the beginning of the question, you said, what didn't you have that you'd like to pass on to the next boss lady? And I would have to say, I think mentorship is extremely important. And I look at that in two ways. In-company mentorship. So someone in your organization who is pulling you along and giving you the tea and letting you know how to get to the next level. I think that is extremely important. But the other thing, as someone who has now risen to a level of upper management, it's important that I reach back and find and identify people who have the same drive and have the same interest and pull them along as well. And I think that's extremely important. And that's one of the ways women can really support other women, by giving the next generation the tools and the resources to rise to the next level, and let them know, this is the way it's going to go. And there may be some headwinds as an African American or Black female, but you can overcome those headwinds and open some doors for some people as you go along.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Good stuff. What about
love
you, Letitia?
So I'm going to start off with saying that you can't give to someone something that you do not have. So if the person that is expected to give the guidance, the leadership, does not have that, they cannot pass that along to the next leader. So for me, I'm going to start with, and of course, I speak from a perspective of an organization. I'm going to start with just being able to provide leadership tools, leadership advancement for all of our upcoming leaders. So for the next generation, if your plan and your goal is to be the president of the National Association of Women's Council of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, it is now our job to provide you with the tools of success. How do you do this? How do you do that? Because if they do not have those tools, they cannot pass that along to someone else. So that's what I would say. And I am a firm believer in having things written so that I can go back and reference. I still use a highlighter. So I know that may be gone of the days, but I use a highlighter and I highlight points that I'm expected to remember so that I can go back and reference them. But if I don't have any documents or anything documented, it's almost impossible for me to be able to retain and then regurgitate that information to that next leader. So that's what I would say.
So I'm going to do a follow-up to that. And I want you to answer it, Letitia. And Tamala and Latanya, jump in if you need to. But can you get there? Can you get to that seat without leadership skills?
Can you get to that's a very interesting question, because some seats you can get to without leadership skills, I will say. Okay. I have unfortunately been exposed to situations where individuals are in leadership, and this is just in real estate, in my professional realm, and they are sitting in a seat and you wonder, how did you get here? Now, what I will say is they clearly possessed something. Right. But we're speaking about specifically being able to pass it on to the next person, right. Not the person that's looking to hold it all for themselves. So part of leadership is determining your exit plan and your exit strategy, because you don't plan to be a doer all your life. So how do you pass the information that you have learned on to someone else, and how do you do that successfully? So I will say that was kind of a tricky question, but yeah, I think in some cases people get in that space without truly having leadership skills.
Well, I'll just say this. I think there has to be, you're a natural leader, once, because again, to achieve a certain level, you didn't just start. I didn't do this just yesterday. You know, a lot of times people see us and they see us where we are now, but they don't know what we've put into that. See, I had a drive 20 years ago. I was very clear about where I wanted to go. So that's why I keep going back to that clarity, right? Now, there were times I didn't know how I was going to get there, right? Then I go back to what Tamala is saying. Then I knew how important it was early on in my career to form a circle of women that I could trust, right? That I could trust to speak into me, not tell me all the good stuff, but they were not afraid to show me how I could grow, because it's all about growth. Again, it's not a destination, it's a journey.
Journey. Yeah,
absolutely. And what I would say to that, we all think the best leader is a servant leader, right? Servant leadership is an excellent skill. That is the embodiment of someone who knows how to support the people that work for them and support the people they work for and uplift the people in the organization. Now, Viola's question was, do you have to have leadership skills? Well, there are other leaders, and Steve Jobs was a great leader, and you have books people have written saying that they don't want to work for him, or it was very difficult to work for him. So he had leadership skills, but were they the best leadership skills? And so I think that women benefit a lot from learning servant leadership and embodying servant leadership. But I still don't count out that authoritarian leadership, because that can be effective also.
Absolutely.
True. That's good.
I love that. I love that. So have your tribe, your circle of trust, try your best to be an effective leader, but you don't have to have leadership skills to end up in a leadership position.
Unfortunately.
We've all seen it.
Yes. We've all seen it.
We all.
Miss Viola, did you want to add anything to that? I thought maybe that I accidentally cut you off towards the end there.
No, I'm good. They said it all. Thank you.
Okay, great. So obviously we are taking the step in the right direction by supporting other extraordinary women, and we are clearly moving into a different age. Madam President Letitia has done our Gen Z project for this upcoming generation. We have the development of AI that is going on a rapid level. Now, this may be a little bit of a layered question, but are there any emerging platforms that you can recommend? And I will start with Tamala on that.
So I would say really understand what some of these fintechs are doing right now. There are a lot of very smart millennials and Gen Xers and Gen Zers who are creating some tools that can help a lot of people. And I think that they have really gotten into the market. And for example, I'll give you an example. Isuzu is a fintech corporation, and they have found a way to help apartment complexes incorporate credit data into a credit report. That's going to help a lot of people build their credit profiles. You have fintechs that help in 30 days get your student loan payment down to a more reasonable payment, and you don't have to go through all of the things, the steps that you used to have to go through. These fintechs are going to be excellent vehicles and tools, especially for women who need to save time, who need to find out how to increase their credit scores, who need to find out how to do some other things. And I just think that really understanding what's out there is going to be a benefit to our industry.
I love that. Madam Latanya?
So when I think about emerging platforms, I think about, some of the platforms that we see out on social media. And so I don't know that I would recommend one over the other, but, everything is not created equally, if you will, but there are certainly some that I have dialed into that have been very instrumental to me as I continue to grow. And, I'll just say, there's some that I listen to like out on TikTok, right? That have some very encouraging things. And when I think about supporting other women, right? That in my opinion, they're making impact, in terms of helping women, particularly women of color, to advance their careers, to advance personally, right? I love the ones that really talk about health, even mental health, because I think that is so important with everything that we deal with on a day to day. I think it's important that you have a go-to. But now, apart from the emergent platform, I've been on the same platform for years. So I'm gonna go old school on y'all. It's my Sunday school class. The group of women. And no, I say that, jokingly, but not really. Whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
And I think if you've heard us talking today, everybody's message has been consistent. You need that tribe, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
For you. You need to be a part of something that that really speaks into you and what your professional and personal goals are.
I love that. I
That's
love
great.
that. This is a little off script, but I was wondering this, and Madam Letitia, I'm going to direct this to you. Speaking of personal and professional lives, it just made me think about social media, TikTok, and how do you keep those separate?
Yeah.
And do you recommend keeping those separate or joining the two,
Yeah.
Madam Letitia?
So I for those of you that do not know, by day I'm a real estate broker. I sell homes, right, for a living. And the answer to that is I do have a business page, which is my Task Realty Group page, and that is just about the business. But my personal page is just about me. And I am a woman that just so happens to sell real estate. So my page reflects just that. It reflects the funny me. It reflects the family me. It reflects the working me. And I've taken several classes on, do you separate them? Do you combine them? Do you this, do you that? But you know what? At the end of the day, you have to do what, and LaTanya uses this word all the time, you have to use what is authentic to you. And for me, whom I am is that person that you see on Letitia Grant's page. You may see a little funny, you may see a little work, you may see all of that. So do I recommend keeping them separate? I would say whatever works best for you and whatever is comfortable for you individually, but no one person. My personal page grew a lot faster than my real estate page, because even though on my real estate page I give a lot of facts, a lot of factual information, people don't necessarily want to just see that one-sided person, because we all have those multi-layers. And that you brought up social media, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that I was so excited to see LaTanya and Tamala on this platform is the way that they support each other on and off the field. And by the field, meaning this working field, they have an authentic relationship. And that is what I like to see, because that tells me who you are as a person, not just who you are as a working person. I feel like I get into their lives and I'm their third friend, even though.
Well, Letitia, I want to jump off on that, because that's really important. I will tell you, I have, LaTanya has opened employment doors for me at least 2 to 3 times. And it was really interesting. One time it was during, after the crash, after 2008, we all had that real estate job. So I was still in mortgage, but I was also teaching at Dallas Community College as an adjunct professor. And she came across some kind of job listing where they were training loan officers and training operations folks. And she said, "Girl, you need to be all over this." And I took it and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting." But it was a contract job. I'd never had, a contract job, but that's pretty much what you had in the mortgage industry anyway. But the interesting thing about that, she could have seen that job posting and just said, "I'm not interested in this. I'm doing something else," and just let it go. But she opened a door for me. And when I got into that door, it was with Capital One. And I went in there training, and then the market turned, and I immediately became the CRA sales manager for the neighborhood lending department. So just that one little thing, foot in the door, opened everything back up when the mortgage market picked up again. So those are the kind of things that women supporting women are supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
She's about to get me all
Absolutely.
but Letitia said something earlier, and it's so true. We can't keep what we don't give away. Okay. And Tamala talks about how I've been supportive in her life. It's right back. Okay. She's given me those same things in my career. And it's really interesting. What I always find, we never know how much we're doing for the next person. And I like to say it's really not my business, because if I knew, I'd probably mess it up. Right. But it put your heart into it.
Yeah.
Bring in your heart, and you'll be shocked at what comes from that. Right. And again, to me, Letitia, that's going back to being authentic.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I need you guys. I need you ladies. We have such a hard time saying that sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you, I tell Madam Ida all the time, I need you, because I can't. What you have, I don't have, right? And she knows it, and she's like, "What do you want me to do now? Can you please talk to people?" Because like, girl, I'm not. I am God knew what He was doing when He gave me children. I have 2 boys. Both of my boys could hold their own bottle by the time they were 6 months. I was not holding bottles. I wasn't writing babies to sleep. I wasn't, and I definitely can't do that for adults. So, but Madam does an amazing job.
and I just have to add one last thing, and I know we're running out of time, but I must say this. I got to tell you, I will say in the last 10 years, I have become so proud of women, particularly women of color, because we've had the reputation of having the crab mentality, and we don't want to see each other getting ahead. Does some of that exist? Absolutely. But I tell you, God has blessed me to be around some amazing women who they have had nothing but my best interest at heart. And He keeps putting them in my pathways. I could sit out here and make out a list, but get your tribe. Tamala's a part of my tribe. Sarita Battles is a part of my tribe. You ladies now, so there is power in that. Because see, what I know, when I lift someone else up, I'm doing nothing but lifting my own self up. Why would I get nervous when I feel like I haven't added back to someone?
For sure.
Girl, that was good.
I love that.
Top of my feet. That's some good stuff.
Well, and the other thing is, watching you ladies in the industry doing what you do, it is so awe-inspiring, just to see you out there helping your communities and bringing information and being sponsors. And, like I said, when I talk about that count, you got to bring money to the table. And I've seen Ms. Viola do it over and over again. And that is so important, because it holds the whole ship up, And I just love seeing us all out there in the market doing these things.
It's good stuff, man. I love it. Love it. So I'm going to move on to my question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I know we're running out of time, but this is some good stuff. So boss ladies know when to give advice, because we're often asked for it, right? But we don't typically like to ask for advice. So Tamala, I'm going to start with you. How do you overcome that? How do you get past that struggle by not asking someone for advice?
Yeah, so the way the first thing is, you don't want advice from everybody, right? So I think Latonia's point, know your tribe, have a tribe. So when you ask for advice, you're asking the right kind of person that's going to give you the right information. But, pride comes before the fall, so you have to tamp that down and say, hey, help me understand. Or is there some feedback you can give me related to ABC? And understanding that is that's an awesome way to grow. We're all here about this growth, right? It's the journey and we have to grow. And so I can't grow if I don't find out what other people know, if I'm just staying inside myself. So definitely always have the mindset, I can ask questions, I can learn, help me understand, because I want to be that much better.
Yeah.
And that's how I
Yeah,
get
that's
past
good. Yes, pride. That pride will get you sometimes.
Yeah.
I tell you. LaTanya, have you ever had to overcome that?
Oh, absolutely. and you know what did I have to do? What was the answer? I had to humble myself. See, God has a way of
Yeah.
bringing us to our knees.
Oh,
Right.
yes, he does.
And
Yeah.
again, what I found is asking for help is one of the most boss lady things you could ever do. Because it
Mhm.
helps you. Again, each one of you guys, or I'm sorry, you ladies on this call have something that I know that you could bring to me. You know, to Tamala's point, yes, do we have to protect what we're bringing in? But again, it's knowing who you're around.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
think it's all about humbling yourself because we do need help. And it's okay that we need help. What I had to find in my own personal journey, really, that was one of my insecurities of
Mm.
not asking for help. That was me being insecure,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
More secure I became in myself, it became easier for me to ask for help.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
good.
listen, Letitia, you and I talked about this, Madam Letitia, on another call. See, now we're gonna flip it a little bit. You know, I had to find out in the love languages, mine is acts of service. So, girl, I know how to ask now.
I know that's right.
And you know when you mention being secure, it's not, sometimes the insecurity, it could be internal, right? But then maybe you're not, you don't believe that people are going to fulfill the commitment that they've made to you, so then that
Mhm.
makes you reluctant to ask for help. But I think that we all need to think about our end goal. At the end of the day, if this is what we're seeking to accomplish and we have to ask for help in effort to get it, then why not just ask for help if that's what you need to do in order to get there? People tease me all the time. I'm an only child, right? So I have that only child syndrome. If I want it, I'm gonna have it, and any means necessary. And
Mm.
that would include asking. I'm like, okay, look, we have to get these chapters together. Madam Ida, can you call them? Madam Ida sets up a sister chat. Amen for that, because Letitia wouldn't have been doing it, but it works well for her. But that's where that help comes in, and surrounding yourself, as you guys ladies stated, surrounding yourself with people that you know that are going to support you, and with people that have your best interest at heart. You're not going to ask any and everyone. Just because someone has themselves in a position of authority doesn't mean that they're going to support the next boss lady, right? Sometimes we have to call on that person that is seen to be a position that you should be supporting. But just because that person doesn't hold a position that is equal or above your position doesn't mean they don't have something to share.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, that's it. That's good stuff. And I would say the same thing about pride, about humbling yourself, and do they have my best interests at hand? That's good. I like that.
Mhm.
So, Madam Ida,
Yes.
you are coming in as the president of the WCR
Oh,
of
Lord.
NARAB. You have an entire organization backing you up and supporting you. What area do you think you'll need the most support, and how can we help you as a collective?
Well, first of all, I want to say good afternoon to everyone. Sorry I had to get off for a minute, but when you're at work and you got to do what you got to do. But that's another
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
about, as you were talking earlier about being a boss lady. I have to go back to what Madam Letitia, Madam Latanya was saying, is that even when you ask for help, I know and I haven't forgotten about your question. You got to be careful who you ask
Go
for it
on.
from. And you got to be careful who you go to. Everybody is not going to have your best interests at heart. And everybody is not going to tell you the best way to do it. Or they'll tell you a way to do it. And then you find out, oh, well, that's not right. Why did they tell me that? So I have to agree, you just have to, there's something wrong with asking for help. I was the same way. I have to humble myself. I run a business. I've owned my title company since 2004. So it did take a while for me to realize that, oh, wait a minute, I got people that can help me, or I got, so I understand that. And I appreciate the comments that Madam Latanya and Madam Letitia says, and Madam Tamala regarding the asking for help. And I agree with that. Now, to your question, yes. First of all, I got big shoes to fill. That's number one. I'm going to say that right off the top. But I am going to say that, yes, with the executive team of Women's Council, with the sponsors, with the people that I have come to know, I've come to know Miss Viola and Miss Latanya, and I'm going to take a trip to Lakeland so I can get to know Miss Tamala. And I so appreciate you ladies. So I am looking forward to working with you all and looking forward to any help that I can get, whether it's from the executive team, whether it's from, ladies like you that, have and this is from my heart, and anybody who knows me know, if I say it, I mean it. And I'm not just saying it just because I'm on this platform, that I appreciate your input. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the members of Women's Council of NARAB. I appreciate the executive team. And I'm looking forward to taking it, to another level. I know that there's some things that needs to be done, and I'm looking forward to everyone working together as a collaborative team to get that work done. And if we can, and part of that is working more with the chapters, working more with the executive team, and trying to increase the membership. I love the platform that Madam Letitia did with the Gen Z, working with the young people. They're the one that need that support. A lot of them don't get that support in schools, so that's something that we can do. Yes, as she said earlier, I love to talk. I love to talk to chapter presidents. I love to talk to everybody. So if you may get on the phone, you'd be like, oh God, what are they calling for now? But that's just me, because I call and check on you, how you doing, what's going on. So I am looking forward to the leadership and looking forward to anything that you ladies can bring to the table to assist me in carrying on the legacy of Women's Council of NARAB. And I appreciate it. And again, I'm going to have to say, I am filling some big shoes, and I want to do the best I can. And I feel with the help of the Women's Council members, executive team, and the sponsors that I'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be
Certainly
great.
will be.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
sure.
You'll be great. Go ahead, Madam Letitia.
No, I was going to say absolutely, Madam Ida is going to be amazing, and I did hear her say that she has some big shoes to fill, but these are just different shoes, right? She has a different pair of shoes that she's going to put on when she steps into that seat. She brings a totally different dynamic to the council than I did, which at the end of the day, it all works. I'm about systems and creating, and that's what I'm about. But sometimes when you're that person, you remove the people. Madam Ida brings back the people. So, with having that order and the all the stuff that I brought, and then Madam Ida comes through and she brings back I see Women's Council growing and her being able to take it to the next level because she has a different pair of shoes. Now I wear a size 7. It's not many people that can say that. So no one.
I was born wearing a 7.
But then, and then the other thing is Madam Letitia send out all these different platforms. I'd be like, oh my God, what is that? I don't know how to open that. I don't know how.
It's all good,
so,
though, right?
and see, everybody have their own niche. That's what she does. She loves those different platforms and how we can get it, get into the platform. And that's great because, but as far as me, I'm still, as long as I come in and turn on my computer, I'm good. I just figured out how to do WhatsApp. So hey, and then when I hear Latanya and everybody talking about Instagram and all of that, I'm like, really?
That's okay. Take your time. It takes all of us. Makes all of
Oh,
us.
but I'm looking forward to work on, working with everybody. So yeah.
And everybody
Oh,
looks
so
forward to
someone
working.
just put a message in there that says the word on the street is no one says no to Madam Ida. So
Uh-oh.
I love it.
That is so
Yes.
true.
Yeah. See, if you tell Letitia no, she'll just do it herself.
well,
They know you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do it. So good stuff.
That
oh
is so
God.
true. So, Madam President Letitia Grant, it has been a joy and a powerful learning lesson for me personally and professionally, just watching you be president. You have successfully ran our profound national organization for the past 2 years. You've built entrepreneurial skills of our youth with your Gen Z project that you built yourself. You've created this amazing podcast connecting women on national levels, which has been amazing. You've educated through this platform. You've built financial literacy classes and held our local chapter presidents accountable, all while managing your real estate brokerage and being a mother to 2 boys that you have raised. I really do want to know, how do you balance it all?
Oh, well, here's the answer. For a long time, I had absolutely no personal life, right? So if you take that away, you're good. However, I am extremely organized. So everything is compartmentalized. That's why it's important. If it's Women's Council related, you send it to Women's Council email. Everything is broken up in very structured. I'll sit down one day and decide everything's on my calendar. I'll sit down one day and I'll completely plan the year for Women's Council, Acres Home Super Neighborhood, my business. I'm a real estate broker and I'm a property manager. So I'm part owner of a property management company as well. And I'll just take some time out of the day or out of the week and just plan it all out. I have lots of paper, lots of stuff written down. And then I go and I take it to my programs, Madam Ida, which is why you guys keep getting all these pop-up of these different programs and you'll get all those passwords. But there are all these different boards that assist you in keeping things organized. Then you turn around and you put it on your calendar. Where I feel that we sometimes mess up is we'll put the end on the calendar, but we don't put the prep on our calendar. So I have prep time on my calendar that equates to me being able to fulfill the commitment that I have made. Partner deliverables are extremely important to me. So that's where that Trello board came in. That everybody's like, what? We don't want to do that. I'm not doing a Trello board. But what it did was it kept me organized so that I can just kind of check off when I completed these partner deliverables. And then, of course, then there are my boys who are now both grown and both starting their own businesses and trying to show them how to do things in a way that is common or second nature to them, but still keeping them organized. And they're boys. So that's been probably one of the most challenging components is trying to pass that on to them because they're young, they're learning, they're trying to figure out what's new to them. And I'm wanting everything to kind of happen because that's just who I am. It's like, let's go, which is why I end up, Madam Viola, doing it myself because it's supposed to be done on Tuesday. It's Monday and you've not done it. And I know it takes 7 hours. Let me get in here real quick and handle it. So
I know.
But then the second piece is being able to rely on people. And I have an amazing, and Madam Ida, you know this, I have an amazing support system. There is not one place that I walk into that at least 2 of my family members are not there. And they have me. So that whole surrounding yourself with, that's it. So I know that was a long answer to a short question, but that's the answer.
What is the single most important piece of advice you can give our president-elect, Ida Campbell?
The single most important advice when it comes to running this organization is develop your goals for your administration first. It is going to be very easy for you to get caught up in what someone else saw for you, that you will miss what you saw for yourself. And that is the reason that you even climbed up this ladder. You know, you didn't spend 2 years in third vice, 2 years in second vice, 2 years in first vice, only to get here as president and to completely change everything that you knew to be true. Of course, we always need to stay true to the mission of the organization.
Right. Sure.
But when you've set those goals and those goals are in line with the mission of the organization, you cannot allow your mind to get clouded with the vision of someone else's. And that's
I love that. And one last question.
I love that. I love that.
What is next for you?
Oh man, what is next for me? So right now, I keep saying that I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit, but everyone that I say that to, they just kind of laugh at me because they know that so right now, in my community, I have I'm the super neighborhood president of a community of 29,000 individuals. Whoa. And I do believe that at some point I am going to dive into politics. I have, and I've been this way all of my life. Supporting those that go overlooked has been extremely important to me. And I do that in my real estate brokerage. You know, that's why I work with affordable housing, and that's why it's so near and dear to my heart. But as it relates to my community as well, it's a low to moderate income community, and there are so many things and so many there's so much that has been available to so many other people that have not been available to my community that I may dive into that a little bit deeper. But I said that I'm going to take my time. I'm not in a rush. I don't care what the numbers say. I am still young and I'll get there when I get there.
Yes. And before I have you close out, I wanted to see if anyone else on this platform had any final comments, including you, Ms. Viola.
I can just say that I'm so excited about this platform. I'm sorry to see it end, right? I think we have one more session, but I just hope, Ida, that you continue this. I mean, have your own plan. I know this is Letitia stuff. I get it. But I just think it is power in women uplifting each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
I love it.
Well, I would just say in closing, first, congratulations, Madam Campbell, as you step into this position.
Yes.
You know, again, remember that it was already decided that you would be in this role. So you just have to step in it and own it, as I know that you will. Yeah. Madam Letitia, I mean, I can't thank you enough. You and I, we had a vision. It really kind of started a couple of years ago. And I just thank you for allowing me and trusting me to be a part of that vision. So, you know, it goes back to what Tamala said, us picking each other up and taking one another along. So I'll say to our audience, you know, my advice, just remain true to yourself and authentic to yourself. Come in every day with purpose. Know who you are and know who you belong to, and you will be just fine.
Yeah, I would have to say that as well. And I giggled when Letitia said she was just going to chill out, because I've known Letitia now for years. And there's not, I mean, she doesn't have the chill out bone.
That's right.
But it works. So I wish her well with that. She's done a phenomenal job over the past couple of years. And I just welcome working with Madam Campbell. It's going to be another great ride. And so anything that we can do to assist, just let me know. I'm here.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm going to be like LaTonya's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Yes, this has been an amazing platform. I think this is my second time on here. And yes, Ms. Viola, I will kind of put it into my goal, as Madam Letitia said. Just think about what I want to do and not what somebody, not saying what you're saying, but I'm just saying all around, you know, because, and she is correct, everybody will have all these things for you to do, but
Mhm.
and anybody who knows me, I'm usually a person of my own mind and what I want to do. So that is something that I will give some thought to. And I want to say again, I'm looking forward to working with Tamala and Latanya and Viola. And we all know Ma'am Letitia is not going to sit around the house and do nothing. We all know that she's not going to, she's going to be a task and she's going to find something else to do. And now on Thursday nights when she don't have the local chapter presidents or the executive team call, now she's going to find something else to do. Trust me, she's going to find something else to do on them Thursday nights, I'm sure. But but I am looking forward to working with everyone. And Mel and Latanya, I'm trying to look at your earrings. They are just beautiful. I mean, but I am looking forward to working with everyone and moving Women Council to the next level. And I'm looking for everyone's help and everyone's support. And Ma'am Letitia, don't be surprised if I pick up the phone and you'd be like, "What, madam, out of calling me for? I ain't president no more." So I may be calling. Like you said, it's nothing wrong with asking for advice.
That's right.
There you go.
Just got to be careful when you ask. But I know who to call.
She's
But I
going to help
appreciate
you.
it. I appreciate everything that you all have said, and I appreciate looking forward to working with you all. And I guess when I see you all again, we'll be in Houston.
That's right.
Yes,
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I may see Tamala before then. I may take a ride over to Lakeland since it's only 45.
And I was gonna say, Madam Campbell, you will need to, because that girl knows how to mess with that seafood, and I'm sure you do too. So I'm gonna put her out for like.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me that. So now I definitely will. I mean, she's Lakeland's 45 minutes from me, so it's not that far. So
we gotta do it.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies. Madam President, any final comments?
Well, I don't know. I was feeling a little emotional myself. I almost feel like this is like the end of, I feel like there's our news anchor is retiring. And I feel like I'm him retiring after 30 years or something. But, this platform has definitely been near and dear to my heart. And yes, Latanya and I, we sat down, we talked about it. What can we do? What can we do? And she said, you know what? I'll sign up for that. And I said, oh my God, just having that support from your sister, which is why this particular episode is so important. Having that support. And she's like, girl, you got it. Put it together. Call me. Let me know what you need from me. And I did just that. And then here we are. And one of the people that I see on our comments right now is Madam Melinda Dyman. And guys, I cannot tell y'all, and this is the perfect platform for her to be on here commenting, and I hope she can hear me. I cannot tell you guys, I wouldn't be here sitting in this seat had it not been for her. Right? Her pushing me, telling me what I can do, her bossing me around in addition to all that, right? She don't listen. But you know what? You don't think that I listen, but I do absolutely hear you. I just put it together in my own way. So I do appreciate you, and I want to thank you for that. And I thank everybody, of course, on this platform. And again, I feel like this is like my last episode. Even though we have one more. We have another one, but I think when we start talking about support and the thing and overcoming the stigma that is related to Black women, this episode is probably one of the most important episodes that we have broadcasted throughout the entire time that we have done this. My office is an office full of women for that exact reason. Women can work together. Women of color can support each other. And for those that are in the audience that's listening, I hope that you hear it and that you receive it. There are many instances, and not just what people portray us to be. There are many instances where women and women of color have supported and pushed each other through that ceiling and have supported each other. Don't just think about the one or two that you have seen that are knocking you down, talking about you behind your back, because the truth is, if they're talking about you behind your back, clearly you've done something. Okay. And most of the time you've done something that they cannot do. That's why
Yep.
they're talking about it. So
Yep.
just disregard that and surround yourself by those people that are going to promote you, that are going to support you, and that are going to take you to the next level. And that next level, again, the reason that I am here is because of that person, that Melinda Dykeman, that Myra Edwards. Both of them are very instrumental in me being president of Women's Council of National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And one of them clearly hasn't gone anywhere because I keep seeing her on our comments with hearts and
Which
And then
one?
the
Melinda?
other thing is too, I wanted to say, and I'll say this in front of Madam Letitia, is that when she's talking about support, I mean, it's almost like when I first met her family, they're like my support. They text me on Sunday mornings. They always texting and calling me, checking on me. And after my mom died, they were my biggest support. So that just goes to show you that you never know who's out there to support you. You never know who's watching you, and you never know who's going to be there with, to have your back. And I want to say, and I'm sure, you can let them know, but I always let them know that I love her family, her mom and her aunts and everybody. We've had conversations together. So that's a support team for me as well. And Madam Letitia knows that. I'll
guys,
talk to her mom and don't even talk to her.
Right.
So,
Look, we are well over our time, but I have got to share this funny story. So right before Madam Ida's mom passed away, my grandmother had passed away. So her mom passed away, and I let my family know, guys, Madam Ida's mom has passed away. Just send her, because y'all have gone through it, so you can support her. My Aunt Shirley was the first person to call her. Called her immediately. Do you know, by the end of the call, Ida had to comfort my Aunt Shirley because she was crying so hard because she was thinking about her mother. I said, you know what? I told her, do not call anybody else ever again. And I want to thank our listeners for tuning in today. This has been a wonderful episode. Thank you, ladies, for taking time out of your day to be here. Those of you that will be on our final episode, I see you all in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Madam Tanya?
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks with our co-host. I think I'll be back hosting, maybe, but I don't have to if Madam Tanya, it's up to you. And
It's
I know
a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
And then Madam Latonya as our co-host. Thank you so much for signing up. And of course, Madam Viola, thank you for today. Delivering.
Thank you.